Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you joining me. I just finished my Sunday ride, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about yesterday's ride, or race is more like it. Yesterday was the Red Rock Roubaix. It's a gravel race that's happened in Austin for 5 years, I believe. But the course has changed since the last time I've done it due to a lot of the old gravel roads being paved. So Chris Tolley, guy who runs Driveway Series, guy who runs Matador Racing, and now runs Driveway Development, my new team for 2025. Put on Red Rock Roubaix Revival First Blood. And it was awesome. It was a great course with some gravel, some road, and some single track. We had a lot of heavy hitters come out, including Hugo Scala of Project Echelon, who, spoilers, ended up taking the win for the race yesterday. I ran my CAAD13 that you've seen in previous videos. However, I fit a 33 millimeter tire up front. It was a cyclocross tire that blew out to like 34 3/4 millimeters. I had to cut off a lot of the side knobs to make it fit. And then the rear, I actually ran a 35 that measured 33 3/4. So the bigger tire measured smaller. But that was good because I had to cut off a lot of knobs there too in order to not only fit it in the frame, but to make sure it wasn't rubbing the front derailleur. The bike was awesome. I couldn't have asked for a better setup. I really enjoyed it, and I think it was ideal for the roads. This was the first of many races to be put on by Driveway Off-Road, Chris's new endeavor into off-road racing, which should include some cross races, some gravel races, just like this one. So I'm looking forward to those, and you should too. It is early in the year. It was only January 4th when we were racing. So I had barely done any intensity this base season. I'd only done 2 threshold sessions. Pretty much the rest of my training was just pure endurance volume. So I currently don't have the top end that you'd want in a race, but we made do with what we had. I don't plan on doing any more races or any actual races until the beginning of March, so that high-end power will come later on in this base phase. So heading out, you got to make sure you always ride to the race if you can. The race started at Cabana Club, which is located on East 7th Street in Austin. A lot of the time after Driveway, there's a post-race party hosted at Cabana Club. What's up, baby? Red Rock Roubaix 2025.
No problem. How you doing? Josh, what's your number?
First race of Driveway Devo.
I gotta go leave on time. Thank you, everyone, for coming and donating to Red Rock Roubaix. I stole this ride in 2021 during the pandemic.
The ride started with a neutral rollout, and we were chilling until we got off Old Manor Road and things started to pick up. Now, like I said, Hugo Scala was there, UCI Pro from Project Echelon. Lawson Craddock was also there, former World Tour Pro, racing with EF, and then later Israel Premier Tech. And paces started to pick up. Let's see, we're chasing Gabe Porterfield. Father Gabe is going to try and bridge the move, and I'm trying to get on. This is probably mile 20 or so, and this is way too early and way too ambitious of a move for me. So I end up getting up to Gabe, and his teammate from Cadence, but I'm redlining and really shouldn't be here. I look back, I see my homie Sam Manzanares from Night Owls, and no one else. Everyone else is pretty far back. So I start to drop off this little group. I just don't have it. And I fall back towards the pack. Here's me getting reabsorbed by the pack, finding a place to slot in. For a second there, I thought I was going to get passed by the whole field, but I was able to make it back in and get some recovery time. Now, this was straight up a road race at times. We had a crosswind at a few points and were echeloning all the way across the roads. It was a super cool experience. The guys up front were making it very hard, and no one wanted to let them go. Had some cool bridge crossings. Definitely tight roads out here towards Elgin. We're getting close to where it started to really get hard. We're closing in on the definitive point, Old Sayers Road, which has been featured in every edition of Red Rock Roubaix. And here we are. We're on Old Sayers, gravel section for like 4 miles or so, 4.5 miles. Some of it's chunky, some of it's sandy, but at these speeds, all of it's hard. The pack really picked up pace here, and I was just trying to hold on, which I did for a little bit, but Sayers really did split up the whole field. And unfortunately, I didn't quite catch me getting dropped or the pack splitting on camera. Luckily, my homie David Wild supplied footage for me from his race. He and I rode together for a lot of Sayers, so this is probably 5 or 6 wheels ahead of where I was at. And see, gaps are opening up, people are closing it down, and just like me, he was feeling the pace. And there you can see the small selection, probably 20 guys, maybe 25, rolling away from us, going up the hill. And it's a small gap, but it just slowly grows and grows out. David Ross and I, oh, there I am. We roll around David, and we all roll together for the majority of Old Sayers Road. You see the victims of mechanicals all along the road. There were mechanicals, there were crashes. Road tires were great if you were able to keep it up and not flat, but quite a few people did fall victim to those. Here we are as we're getting to the end of the gravel section of Old Sayers as it becomes pavement. And I really didn't have the juice to pick up the pace anymore, where it seems David and David Wild and this guy in the Meteor jersey did. So we start going up the hill, and David Ross and I start falling back away from these guys. David Wild makes sure to give me a little bit of encouragement right here, but can't make it. Kudos to him, though. He ended up actually bridging the gap all the way back up to majority of the front pack at the single track and finished with some of the top guys. He's gotten really strong this winter. Here, David Ross and I made it to the single track around Lake Bastrop. Now, some of this was pretty gnarly. There was a fair amount of sand. There were some really chunky sections like this where he and I both lost it on the bike and had to end up getting off and walking up this this hill.
I thought I could.
I actually thought that D. Ross would be faster than me on the single track. He has a lot more experience boogieing around on road tires, but I guess the tire advantage was enough for me, even with my lack of skill, to come around him. So is where we come into the corner where David kind of washes out on some sand, and I decide that I need to make the pass because I'd like to get through this a little quicker. I ended up catching up to these couple of guys and roll the rest of the way behind them through the woods. After the single track, like I said, I stopped at the Trek truck and stocked up, had a Coca-Cola, a couple gels, and some shot blocks, so really appreciate them being there. Before getting back on the road and hopping in a small group, we ended up catching people along the way. Caught quite a few people, made it into a nice group for Old Sayers here, and then to the final section of single or really double track. So this comes after the last section of road, and this is leading into the finish line. Now, I didn't really have any aspirations of sprinting around David. We had been riding around together for the entire day together, and who even knows what place we would make. So we cruise in together. It was really nice to have a homie to ride with for most of the day, and to be able to roll in with such a good group for the end of the race. Coming up here on the left is the little handwritten finish line sign. And I just want to thank Chris for such an awesome race. We had 4 miles or so on the bike path to roll back together. So we all chilled and rolled back towards Cabana Club for a little bit of socializing and to finish up. Now, I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Appreciate you guys checking out the channel. I hope this made you want to attend next year's version of Red Rock Roubaix, because it is an awesome race, an awesome venue, and it's a great time. How was the front?
Damn, bro.
Sick.
It's open. You get your leg? You give me my leg. I need to get my leg.
I got you.
I appreciate you checking out the video. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.